Here we are. We've got another CALMtown clock in. It's been great to get to know a few people around St Ives and the town recently. And so I'm going to ask our next guest who we're clocking in with to hear about his lockdown experiences. So who are you and where are you right now?
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me on. I'm Colin Rich. I'm a postman in St Ives, and I'm also a fitness instructor. And I'm currently in my gym. I've decided to come out of the house to do this because I'm a little bit worried. My children keep asking me loads of questions, like, "Can I have some more chocolate?" So this seems like the quietest place to be.
There you go. Well, if they interrupt, it doesn't matter. We'll let you off. Don't worry about it. So it looks very impressive. You're working a bit of a Joe Wicks look in there, all very tidy and serene. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's my little bolt hole. It's where I come in the morning before I go to work, and it's obviously it's lovely to have it. To be fair, right at this moment, it's really nice to have the setup. So I'm massively grateful that it was the first thing I did when I moved into our house. First thing I set up before I did any painting, it was get the gym in place.
Wow, fantastic. Well, we're here to talk about lockdown experiences and how we're all doing. And there's been some perhaps difficult parts for a lot of people, maybe even yourself. I know I've had my moments, but there have been some lockdown highlights as well. So what's been your lockdown highlight so far?
In terms of highlights, I'm an outdoor fitness instructor. The thing that I like to do is try and encourage people to get outside, although it's quite difficult to get my own children out, unfortunately. But that's the thing that's been a bit of a highlight. I'm a little bit voyeuristic as I see people running and exercise outside. I tend to take a look, and I'm probably a little bit too nosy. But what this has done is I'm now seeing so many people out, so many families out, and so many children taking advantage and running along with their parents. And for me, that might not be a massively creative thing to say, but I think it's really positive. And to me, that's been a bit of a highlight as I'm going through town and delivering on my rounds. It's just seeing people out and about and taking advantage of this beautiful town that we live in.
Oh, fantastic. So I heard you mention earlier that you get in your gym before you go to work. So a lot of the language around lockdown is make sure you don't stay in your pajamas all day. Make sure you get up, you do something with your day. So what's your lockdown routine like?
I have to say, being a postman, my lockdown routine hasn't really changed a great deal because I'm very fortunate to still be at work, and I'm very regimented. I'm ex-military, so that's been something that I've kept going. I still get up and I still do exercise before I go to work, and everything's really fitted into place for me personally. But in the house, things are totally different because obviously the boys, for them, it feels like a holiday, but it's not. So we're trying to keep them into the routine, making sure that they get out of bed, make their beds, do all the things that they normally do. And my wife, Kirsty, obviously things have changed for her, but we're trying really hard to keep it as normal as possible so that everybody feels like they're, actually in the right place at the right time. So we don't feel like we want to go to sleep and keep our pajamas on.
Yeah, fantastic. So, I'm being nosy now. You spying people out and about in the town. What time do you have to get up in order to be in the gym and go to work? What time does your day start?
I come into my gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I start at the post office at 6 o'clock, 5:45. So I only do probably half an hour to 45 minutes in the morning, and then I'll often come in a bit later on. But yeah, like I say, I'm very, very fortunate that I've got this facility at home. So, in terms of work, nothing's really changed for me. So yeah. That's my normal routine. It's not changed.
Funny. Still got a bit of normality. That's lovely. So, tell us a bit. You've said your job's not changed that much. Your routine hasn't changed. So, what has it been like? Because I know you have another job as well as your postie round, don't you?
Yeah. In terms of my routine, it's not changed. But in terms of the job itself, it has changed. At the moment, there's not a great deal of business mail going out. There's not a great deal of leaflets in terms of holiday promotions and that sort of thing. So the mail volumes themselves have dropped off in terms of letters. and business mail. But in terms of parcels, it is literally gone through the roof. It is like Christmas.
Really?
And people are ordering all sorts, you know, dog bowls, whistle, you name it, they're ordering it. But it's important that they do. You know, at the moment, it's important that we're busy, because what it does is it kind of keeps the wheels churning. And there are people, you know, at the other end of the delivery chain. You know, they're the people that are getting it ready to send out. They're the people that are producing it. So really, I think at the moment, although I'd like to be taking my foot off the gas and not being so busy, I see the benefit of being busy. You know, for everybody else, it's really good that we can, you know, take it on and kind of and work that bit harder to get things done.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm also, oh, sorry.
No. And I was going to say I think we're really grateful to all the posties in the town. We don't see you perhaps quite as much because it's a bit of a drop and run for you, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know where we'd be without these red vans and red trolleys being around the town, keeping us going. So thank you, and pass on our thanks to everyone that you work with as well. So tell me about your other hat, your other job.
Yeah, I also run a company in St Ives called On a Mission Fitness, which is outdoor military training. So unfortunately, we are outdoor. We don't do anything. We're never indoors. We travel around. We're very, you know, mobile. And unfortunately, that seems to have come to a career in halt in terms of what we can do outside. So what we've had to do is, like most other fitness providers, is adapt. And as you and I are having this conversation on Zoom now, it's how we're delivering our sessions. And I am, as every one of the members will tell you, a complete technophobe. So this has been a baptism of fire. I'm literally struggling with it, but it's good. It's you know, it's new feathers in the cap, and we seem to be doing very well. And it seems to be something people want to engage in, because people are keen to see the people that they ordinarily meet, and obviously stay in contact. And it's a great way to stay in contact and keep that social aspect up. And it's obviously good for the mind. You know, it's good for our mental health to be seeing those people on the other end. So yeah, it's very, very good, but difficult. I'm not good at it.
I'm sure you're doing yourself down. Community is so important, to be able to smile and laugh with each other. We may not be able to hug or touch each other, but actually that element of just being with folks we know, familiar faces. So I'm sure everyone appreciates that. I bet they love being able to press the mute button as well when you start shouting, because they can't do that in the park, can they?
No, they can't. Do you know what? Funny enough, that's the thing that I do. I'm very, I react to the way people are exercising. I move towards them. I talk to them directly in a very military way. So yeah, the mute button is probably quite a benefit for them. Although before the sessions, I ask them to all mute themselves anyway. So yeah, it's strange. It is strange, but we're lucky we have the opportunity to do it, because without it, I really don't know what we do. I certainly don't know what I'd do.
Fantastic. So you've talked about being a technophobe. I don't know whether that's been your teary moment, but have you had a moment where where you felt the pressure, where there's been not necessarily tears, but oh goodness me, this is tough?
I've seen some of the other questions that you've asked other people in terms of teary moments, and I haven't really had any at home. I think I've had a couple of things that have happened. The very first one, and you'll be aware of this.
Sorry, just waving to someone out the window.
Oh, sorry. You'll be aware, because your children went to Thorndown School. It was the very last day of school when reality really struck, and it was the children's last day. And I could see all the teachers, you know, just being normal, and the headmistress out and smiling and waving everybody as if it was the end of term. But I knew that they were going home and they were going to be upset, and that they weren't going to see the children through that school year. And at the end of the day, I tried to get Oscar to join into a photo, because I thought all the children were doing something really nice and getting involved in a photo as their last day before we locked down. And it wasn't. It was the year 6 children, and I hadn't realised, and it wasn't until I got home that I realised they probably wouldn't go back to school. And yeah, I had a tear, because it just, that's it for them. They won't go back to school. They'll go up to big school. They won't get the opportunity to have the T-shirts written And it just, yeah, it really, really did strike a little bit of a teary chord. I'm a soppy sod anyway. So,
Yeah.
so that
It's
just makes
making
me
me. It's making me get
I
a
know
bit welled
smoky
up
room,
thinking about it.
not good. No, not
Yeah.
good.
You might shout at people, but you've got a soft centre, hey?
Yeah, I think so.
So uh, we're not sure how long lockdown will last for, but we know that it will, and we're all doing our bit, knowing that it will end as soon as it's safe and as soon as we're able to. But as you think about it being over, what's the first thing that you will do once it's ended?
Do you know what? I watched Mark Watley's video that you did with him and his little bowl of activities. So basically, you get a glass and you write down all the things that you can't do. My glass is spilling over. It's literally absolutely full. It's a fantastic idea. So this year it's Kirsty, my wife's 40th birthday, and all of her year group. So they're all missing out. They're all one by one. They're missing their birthdays and all the things that we had arranged to do and all the places we'd arranged to go. So the first thing we need to do is obviously address that and make sure that goes with a bit of a bang. And secondly, on my list, out of my little pot, I've got 4 children. I've got 2 children at home that live with me now, and my daughter lives in Keighley in Yorkshire with her boyfriend, and my other son is actually a teacher in China, just outside Wuhan, coincidentally enough. And I'm desperate to get them all together. So by hook or by crook, I'm going to make it happen. And I think this has made it more important. I just want to make sure that I get them together. The last time we were together as a 4 was on my 50th birthday, which was a few years ago. So I want to get them together with me, the boys, Kirsty, and just get together as a family. Yeah, that's on the list.
How amazing. I've got so many questions that I can ask you, but the main one is, I can't believe you're 50.
I'm not. I'm 53.
Oh,
but yes,
my goodness.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I am, unfortunately. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, well, you're looking good on it. Maybe I need to join on a Mission Fitness. I want to look like you. So is there anything else you'd like to share? We're so grateful to you for sharing today, for all the parcels you're delivering, for the way you're inspiring people to keep fit during this lockdown. Is there any words of wisdom that come from you?
In terms of delivering the post, it's not a word of wisdom, it's just a request. If you see your postman, as lovely as you all are, as lovely as we like, as good as it is to see you and have a chat, for the time being, can you just take a step back? Don't come out to grab your mail from us, because we need to keep that social distancing. So it's quite important that we leave your mail on the door and we give you a wave and we run away, which is not our normal thing to do. But for the moment, if you could do that. And as for the fitness side of things, I think it's really important to make sure that you keep a routine of exercise. What we do at the moment is we've got plenty of times on our hands. So what we tend to do is think, well, I'll do that later, and we stumble in and out of exercise, and it's less effective. So I think it's really important to make sure you set aside the time, stick to it. If you go to a class, if you do aerobics every Monday at 7 o'clock, even if there's not a class on, do your aerobics at 7 o'clock. If you do a boot camp at 5 o'clock in the morning, carry on doing it and try and keep yourself into that routine. And I think that's really quite important.
Fantastic. Well, Colin, it's been great to talk to you. I feel much better having had a clock in with you. So I hope you've enjoyed the conversation as well. So thanks for your time, and enjoy the early morning when you get up tomorrow.
Yes, thanks very much. Can I just say to everybody, thanks very much. Stay safe, and hopefully when we get out of the other end of this, we'll be able to have a massive St Ives party. We'll all be able to meet in the park and get our families together and just enjoy a bit of each other's company, something that we haven't been able to do. So thanks very much, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.